This presentation is brought to you by Visions Audio Visual.
Again, guys, please just joining the call. My name is Jamial Mumford. I'm now out of Atlanta, Georgia, by way of South Pennsylvania, CEO of Visions Alliance Personal Development Coaching Company. And simply, I formed the company about 5 years ago simply because I found out that when I was on my road to having some level of success, and even in my TV career, in my counseling career, everything I've done in life, anything I've been successful at, I realized that I could not achieve the success if it wasn't for personal development, if it wasn't for just having coaches in my life and being on calls like this. You know, some of you may be saying, why should I be on a call like this every Wednesday? Well, folks, I tell you this. If you really want to make changes in your life drastically, you want to do things that you've never done before. Okay, and a call like this would be something that every day you want to get to hear, because the world is formed by negativity. You know, if you want negativity, if you want lack, if you want poverty, you want defeat in your life, you want to be living an average, mediocre life, the world is definitely there to help you live that life. But if you want to live a life outside of what most people do, because remember, the world is divided into 95% versus 5%. It's an amazing statistic that 95% of people in America today, 95% of people in the world today live a life of mediocrity, living a life of the worm, where everybody's chasing each other's tail and we're only going in a circle and no one's moving forward. So that means only 5% of people are living a life the life they really want to live, the life they really want to have. And if you want to be a 5%er, no matter what area of life you're talking about, then you won't have to do what the 5%ers are doing. And the 5%ers are on conference calls. They're training themselves on a daily basis because they know that I have to put more positive things into my mind than negative things. And I will tell you this, folks, if you're not putting positive things in your mind on a daily basis, you will automatically conform to what the 95% of people in the world are doing. And that's going to be top of the call tonight. But before that, I want to go out to an awesome gentleman I've gotten to know probably about a good five years. Just when I first got to meet him, he's always had a positive spirit about himself. He's always been a person that I remember when I first started talking about personal development. I mean, I didn't know that he really was listening to what I was saying, and then I didn't really know that I didn't know he was out there. So sometimes you never know in life the people whose lives you're affecting. And I remember the first time hearing him talk, he started saying, listen, you know, and he says, man, one thing I thank God for is people that in my life that have instilled in me about personal development. And ever since then, the last 3 years I've known him, every time he talks, he always talks about personal development. And see, I have a passion about that, and people that truly mean that, because see, I know that a person who believes in personal development, a person who steers their whole life to personally develop themselves on a daily basis, that person will be a victorious person instantly. Because the more you personally develop yourself, the better, the faster you will get to the results you want in your life. So if a call like this don't interest you, then I will tell you folks, if you don't read books, if you don't listen to CDs and learn better things, you can go all day saying how much you want to change your life. You can talk about how much money you want to make. You can join every company out there. You can study every course that's out there. You go to college for 10, 20 years of your life. But if you don't do things like personally develop yourself, you won't have that success. And this gentleman, I've watched him. I've gotten to be mentored by him at times because he's an awesome gentleman, awesome leader. A lot of people. He's a great leader out there. Has many followers following him. And see, I always say a good leader has lots of followers behind him. So I want to go out to a man. He's out of Texas, Houston, Texas. Out there. I know he's a Patriots fan, but I think he's a Patriots fan, but I'll forgive him for that. But I'm an Eagles fan, just so you guys don't know. But Mr. Senator Johnson, you're on the line today, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mumford. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Take it away.
Man, thank you very much for, just giving me this opportunity to share my heart. But, personal development definitely means a lot to me. And first of all, I must give you credit for, pretty much bringing it to my life. I heard about it, and, I kind of brushed it off for a while, but there was one thing that was said to me that definitely stood out, and that's when you said your personal development would never exceed your income. And that really made me, step in my tracks, and, I really had to really think about it, like, okay, well, how much do I really want to make? So at that point in my life, I had to, figure out, what's this personal development about? that Jamal keeps talking about. And, you know, doing my research, one of the first things that I realized that it was positive thinking, and that's definitely something that, you know, we need in the business is positive thinking, because it's so easy to get off track, and especially with all the negativism that's going on around us. So, you know, positive thinking was one of the main things that you know, personal development has helped me with. And, I mean, this goes so deep. I mean, there's so many ways how positive thinking can affect you. And one way, and I'm going to just go over a story that, you know, that we all pretty much already know about. And I caught myself reading it to my son the other day, and it's just amazing how many, you know, we can get positive thinking in certain ways. And it's simply the little engine that could. Now, we all know that this is a story about a little train trying to carry tons of toys to all the good boys and girls. But when the train is faced with an impossible challenge, a towering mountain, it seemed that the toys wasn't going to be able to make it to all them boys and girls. Now, you had a shiny new engine, and you had a big, strong engine. But guess what? They all said that they couldn't do it. But guess what? You had this little engine who decided to get it done. And one of the powerful phrases that was used in that, he said, I think I can, I think I can. And that's pretty much, you know, what positive thinking is once you put it in your mind to get something done and wipe out all negativity, it's nothing going to happen but you getting it done. So the more of this story is that you can do anything that you put your mind to. Now, what a powerful statement for positive thinking. So, you know, I just want to, first of all, thank you for allowing me to share, you know, my experience with personal development. I encourage everyone to, you know, every now and then just go on a 30-day mental fast, and you'll realize that a lot of the things that, you know, we're accustomed to is, you know, definitely put negative in our mind. And the more we can wipe that negative out, you know, the more our bank accounts will increase. I want to share this with everybody as well. Empty your wallet to fill your mind, and your mind, you know, will fill your wallet. So a lot of times, you know, I was buying CDs and things of that nature, stuff that was put negative in my mind, and replaced it with personal development CDs. And basically, like they told me, Jamal told me, turn your car into a university on wheels. And, you know, those are the things that I did, because I realized I had to surrender my will to secure my wealth. I had to surrender my will to secure my wealth. And, you know, you definitely got to have mentors and, you know, different people of that nature. And it is actually a guy that, you know, told me something about 2 years ago that really, you know, stuck with me. And he said, you're either growing or you're dying. There is no in between. You know, you're either growing or you're dying. So personal development, if you're staying on your personal development and steady reading the books, you're growing as a person. And I would encourage everybody, and I'm going to give one last nugget, and I'm going to go ahead and turn over to Jamal. It's 3 things that we must do. You must lie, steal, and cheat. Now, I know y'all laughing, probably. What do you mean, lie, steal, and cheat? Okay, you must lie at nighttime, you know, dreaming about your goals. Go ahead and manifest it in your mind before it can come to reality. You must lie down at night. The next is steal. You must steal time away from family, friends, and, you know, people like that. You got to steal time away from them, you know, to steal your personal development. I mean, a lot of times my family, you know, they want me to come over here and do this thing, but if I do that, you know, that's putting more negativism in my mind. So that's steal. And cheat. Cheat basically is cheat and rob and duplicate. They should have never told me that. Rob and duplicating. Pretty much all the nuggets that you hear, just learn how to put it in your arsenal. So once again, Jamal, I want to thank you for everything you taught me. I want to thank you and Kim, especially for the Hour of Power. You know, that played a major role. And I wonder, like, why is Kim doing, you know, this on Friday nights? But that's most of the time where we get around negative and things like that. So I want to thank you guys for everything and helping me in my journey on personal development. Back to you, sir.
Wow, thank you very much, Seneca. I definitely appreciate those kind words, and I tell you, truly an example of what personal development can do. And I mean, just hearing you say, bro, I actually you could have just kept on talking to me, because I mean, just those nuggets you were sharing is exactly what it takes for us to be successful. And I just have to ditto, you know, just showing you that when you talk about cheating, and you know, I learned to think about, if you got to take a note, you want to write this word down, case, C-A-S-E, C-A-S-E. And as Seneca was saying, see, some things people say, well, Jamal, I don't want to, you know, well, I don't want to get the CD, or I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. But the key thing, CASE stands for copy and steal everything. Copy and steal everything. To the point where that's why you want to get those books. That's why you want to get those CDs, so you can copy and steal everything. Because, and exactly what I'm going to talk about tonight's call, is everything is learned behavior. Everything we do in life is learned behavior. Everything we're doing things that we have learned. And see, when you really understand that everything you do is a learned behavior, it will now begin to tell you why you are or may not be having success in your life. And see, it's not about the company. It's not about the society. It's not about the world. It's not like, it's not like back in slavery days where they're saying you can't work or women can't vote. The world is a free world right now. Okay? Are there people out there that still discriminate? Yes, there are. But for the most part, there are still people today, no matter what race, no matter what religion, no matter what creed, that are still having success. So that means that nobody is without excuse. The only reason why in today's world people don't have success is simply because of a learned behavior that's going on in their life. With that being said, I want you guys to hold on one second. I want you to just listen to this excerpt I'm going to play here. It's about 1 minute, if that, and just I want you to supply yourself to his life and just hear this little commercial. 1 second.
Human beings were not meant to sit in little cubicles staring at computer screens all day. Hey, this is Tony Rudd. You have a dead-end job that you just don't like? Whatever this is not going to work. Or you live in paycheck to paycheck and it seems like you're never getting ahead? Houston, we have a problem. Are you tired of not living the lifestyle that you feel like you really deserve? Pizza, pizza. Are you tired of paying someone else to watch your kids so that you can earn money that barely covers your child care? When you put it that way, it doesn't sound that good to me either. Well, visit.
Wow. When I heard that commercial, I hope some of you probably related to that commercial just there. And the last part really got me with the daycare part. A lot of people, you're basically working just to provide daycare for your children. I mean, what kind of life are we really living to that point where most of us are just living a mundane life? You said pizza, we're working that job. And so many times in my years of doing personal development coaching, I'm constantly talking to people. This every day. I talked to about 3 different individuals who said, you know what, I need to make a change. I want something different. But do you know that most people will never begin to achieve something different? Because when a person says, I want something different, most people will still step out in only what they know. See, you can only do what you know. See, a trained mind can only do what it's been trained to do. And tonight I want to talk about courage and conformity tonight. Okay? And when I speak of courage, I always think about, when you talk about courage. And the definition of courage, the Webster's Dictionary says, courage is a mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. Again, what is courage? Courage is a mental or moral strength to venture. Okay? That you gotta. So someone who says I have courage, they're willing to go out there and go on the adventure, to take that step out and take that risk. I think of risk taking. So when a lot of times people think about I have courage, or even in network marketing industry, from where most of my income has come from, and where I've been able to retire from corporate America, I can tell you this, that a lot of people who say I have courage, I'm excited about doing it, but they really don't have courage. Because the one that has courage is they're going to have that strength to venture. Okay, they want to be willing to take that risk, persevere. Being able to, even though when the times get rough. See, a lot of the opposite of people, when people can't persevere, they make excuses. And see, again, that's all programming. See, the excuses we make, we're programmed to make those excuses. See, we're programmed to say, I'm tired, so I can't get on this call. We're programmed to say, I have to accept this job. I don't have no other choice. Okay? Withstand danger. Okay? When you have courage, see, no matter what comes against you, folks, and I can tell you in my own personal life, I have seen so many things that came into my life to try to take me down. I mean, I can think about how many downfalls I've had in my life. But see, one thing that you know about successful folks, and I encourage you guys, if you want to get a good book, to encourage you, is a book called Walking with the Wise. Okay? Because in that book, there are hundreds of stories of not only just millionaires, but people who came from rock bottom. We're talking about people who lost their marriages. One lady who was so physically abused by her husband, and now she's running a multi-million-dollar corporation throughout the world. I mean, you're talking about people from all walks of life. See, but with courage means you can withstand the dangers of life. Okay, fear. Fear is one of those big topics, man, that I just go on because I see so many people that you're bound by fear, and what fear stands for is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. see, you see, opposite of courage, in a way, kind of opposite of courage is fear. But for tonight's sake, we want to the opposite of courage is conformity. But the opposite of courage is fear. Okay? Because people are, a lot of times we won't get started. We won't take the next step. We won't, take that step to being a better parent. We won't go to no classes. We won't, do invest in things that's going to make us better. You know why? Because we have this evidence appearing real. And you know why? You know where fear comes from? Fear comes from the people you have been brought up around. Fear comes from the programming you have inside of you. See, every one of you tonight on this call tonight, I want you to understand something. You're living a programmed life. You're living the matrix. I was in a six-figure business school about a half a year ago, and I never understood the Matrix movie like the way this guy broke it down. And most of us are living a matrix life. See, and this is why we can never get ahead. This is why we can't bust out of our job. This is why we can't find more income. This is why we can't have a better family. We can't have a better spiritual life. We can't live stress free. Why? Because you are living a matrix of a learned behavior that you got from your parents, you got from your child. And I'm going to break it down tonight for you so you can fully understand that if you want to be successful in any areas of life, you're going to have to do a lot of reprogramming. Okay? And then the last part of courage is a mental, moral strength adventure. Persevere, withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. Life is going to be difficult, folks. See, anything you do in life, and when you read this book, Walking with the Wise, and you're looking at and being courageous, are you a person who can withstand fear, withstand difficulty? See, and folks, I have to be always honest with you, is that, see, even though as a personal development coach, I always tell people, listen, you can change, you can make it. But what I have to be honest to say, that if you don't have courage, you will not stand the test. You will not be that person that will be able to say at the end of the day, at the end of their lifetime, I'm proud of where I've gotten to. In my lifetime, I've done better in my 30s than in my 20s. I've done better in my 40s than in my 30s. But unfortunately, most people will live life in the 95th percentile of people. See, folks, this call, personal development, is so crucial because if it wasn't true, then why are 95% of people in America living the same mundane life, day after day after day after day? Their income stays the same. 20,000 one year, 20,000 next year, 20,000. See, their life stays exactly the same, and they never get ahead because why? They didn't have the courage to withstand the test that it's going to take to go out there and become successful. And and I'm always thinking about the Bible story, about and the Bible story, and just sharing the story with you because it's a great story about what courage really is. This is what courage is. I remember when there was a time when there was time. Of course, in the Bible, you have a lot of wars, a lot of battles that were fought, in the early times, and that's always been in the early times of the world, and people, different, societies fighting against each other. And I remember, they were going to get the battle, and the company, the army, sent out 12 spies to go out there and go look at the other army, go spy that other army. It's like the U.S. troops sitting over the marshal of Iraq and say, go spy on Saddam Hussein, go put some helicopters up, or go spy on Osama bin Laden, and let's go see what they're doing over there. And it's like 12 spies came back to the general and said, listen, we can't win. Those guys are too big. They even went to the point of saying, we're like grasshoppers. We're so little, we'll never win. And so they basically, the army basically thought they would not win. They were just going to give up in defeat. And so what happened was they sent the army general said, these two young guys he sent out, called Joshua Caleb. He sent them out to spy the land and said, can you guys go out there and see if this army is what these people said? These 12 spies came back and said. These 12 spies who represent the army, who should always know everything, they came back and said, we can't do it. They sent two young guys out there to spy out this army. They came back and said, guess what, General? We are well able to conquer this army. We are well able. And if you read the Bible, the book of Joshua, and again, see, one thing about success in life, folks, and I always have to admit this, and I don't never, make any qualms about it or apologize for it, that everything about success, anything I've learned, is biblical principles. That's all it is. Because if you read the Bible the right way, if you read any kind of religious book in the right way, it's all about success in your life. Okay? And with these principles, Joshua said, listen, we're well able. Be strong and courageous. See, Joshua was a man of courage. And see, if you want to be successful in life, you're going to have to be a person of courage. You're going to be a person that are willing to stand the test, or willing to take the risk, and go out there and come hell or high water. Does not matter what comes against you, you are still running the race. See, it said that the race does not go to the person who is swift. See, a lot of people I look at, and again, I look at life, I look at people who always, when I make that first phone call with them, and they're getting started, or they want to start a business, they want to start a career. You know, people come to me, I know you're a director, and I've done music videos, and I preach with my video business, and I want people all the time, can you help me with my rap? I want to be a rapper. I want to be a singer, or even when I was a modeling agent for models, and people come to me, man, listen, can you help me? I want to become a model. And when I begin to tell them, and that first call, they're always so excited. See, that's the Swift. The Swift is always so excited to get started. They're so excited, but guess what? Because they don't have courage, they're the ones that end up giving up on their hopes and dreams. When I begin to tell them, listen, what I'm going to need you to do, I'm going to need you to meet me at 3 o'clock. I'm going to need you to, give me I'm going to need you to produce 3 songs for them on the CD and give them to me by next week. See, now, because they may have a job, they may be going to school, they may want to hang out with their friends, they want to go out and party, whatever, and they don't do, you know why they don't do the things that it takes to win? Because they didn't have courage. They weren't able to persevere. And see, guys, I'm kind of going backwards because I'm kind of giving you the good things about courage, and then I'm going to give you the other side about what most of us are living. And I'm doing it because this is where most of us are going to deal with in our lives, is we're living life of conformity. Okay? And see, I think about courage, and see, I thought about, and Seneca was sharing in the call earlier about his son. And I think about my son, and I think about my children because my children will now not grow up. See, I look at my previous family, my ancestors, and I think about, how in my family, I never really seen anyone do extraordinary things. And when I was in school, I never seen anyone in school growing up do extraordinary things. I had some father figures and people in my life, and in my later years, but most of the time, my first initial part of my life, I never really had anyone that did extraordinary things. So do you understand, folks, that when you live a life around people who have not done extraordinary things, you're programmed to think that nothing can work, that you can only live a mediocre life, okay? And so what happens is, I look at my children now, and I say, I am going to change the trajectory. See, Seneca is another example. If he's changing the trajectory, Ruben Luna, who was on this call, his young son, his children, we are changing the trajectory and the paradigm shift in our children. See, our children are never going to be able to say, I cannot do it. See, my children will never begin to see right now, I'm not trying to impress you guys, but to impress upon you that when you have that courage, when you're willing to stand the times and you're willing to understand that you have been programmed as that's the reason why you cannot have success in any area of your life, then guess what? When you break out of that programming, your children will no longer be programmed people growing up in this world. And I look at my children, so I'll give you an example. I took my 3 children down to Florida, on a nice vacation. Now my children, when they grow up, now most of us will think if you don't have a job, you can't be successful. Now my children know that I do not work for anyone. I do not work. I have left corporate America back in November. I have not worked a job in the last 7 months. Okay? But I was able to take my children on a nice 5-day vacation to Florida, had a nice time, and my children right now are knowing when they grow up, they're going to be in the system. When somebody says you got to be successful, my children will say, no, you know what? No, my dad didn't have a job growing up. But we always went on vacation. We always did things that some of our friends didn't do when their parents had jobs. You see how folks were already being programmed? But see, so my children will have that courage to go and do things opposite just having a job, so to speak. And not that a job is bad, but they'll have that courage because, unfortunately, as you saw on the commercial I just played, that most of us are living a life that we don't really want to be in. See, because like I said on the call last week, that most of us are just doing what someone else told us to do. We're just following each other. We're like sheep. We're like worms. If you ever look at worms, guys, they say if you put worms in a circle, you take a worm and you take 5 worms and put them in a circle, and if you lay 5 worms on the floor, okay, what will happen is those worms will actually form a circle because worms are programmed to follow each other. A worm, other worms, will never go off on its own and do its own thing. So imagine what happens is many of us are living in life like worms. Okay, where we're not being courageous. We're not courageous enough to go out there on our own, but we're following each other's tails, and that's what worms do. And so, if you put worms on the floor, they will eventually form a circle and just follow each other in a complete circle, never going anywhere. And how many of us call feeling like, hey, Jamal, I'm just turning 30, or I just turned 20, I'm turning 25, I'm turning 40, I'm turning 50, I'm turning 60, and I feel like I can never get ahead. And the reason why is because of you have been programmed. You are living a matrix. Society has you in a matrix because you have only learned, the only thing you know is what you know. The only thing you know is what you know. So if you only know that the only way to be successful to work a job, you can join up in a network marketing company, you can try to start a business, and you will fail miserably. Why? Because you've only been programmed to work a job. You have not been programmed to know how to go out there and work in a free enterprise world. So most people will fail in a free enterprise world, and most businesses fail in their first 3 years, because those business owners have been programmed to only work a job. Okay? So, see, a lot of times parents and people say, well, you can't be a successful parent. Listen, folks, I'm 32 years old, I have 3 wonderful children. Do an awesome job with my children. And see, I pride myself on some success I have with my children because I went and learned how to be a better parent. Now am I perfect? No, absolutely not. None of us are going to be perfect. But guess what? I personally developed myself at a young age when I had my first child at 22, how to be an effective parent. Well, most people say, well, you can't be a parent in your 20s. It's so hard out there. So you know why it's hard? It's because you believe it's hard because you have been programmed to think that it's hard to be a parent in your 20s. See? So, and again, people say, I remember even in my job, my last job at a news station, people say, Jamal, what do you do? How do you work from home? Are you in one of those things, on pyramid schemes, on scams? And they will say, you know why they say that? Because just like myself growing up, they have been programmed to think that if you don't work a job, then it's got to be a scam. You can't be successful without a job. So they'll be fearful to leave that job because they think the only way to make money is to work a job. Okay? And so, folks, let me give you the last example of courage, and then we're going to move on to our next, conformity. See, this is courage right here. This is how you build courage in yourself. This is how you face your fears and get over your fears. And many of us, and I say this because a lot of times when I do coaching, people, they will always come with their problems, but they never want to do the solution part. They'll always say, Jamal, I want to be successful. Me being a leader in the network marketing industry and building teams, even when I was a youth pastor, youth counselor, guys, and many leadership roles that I've had, many people always come with a problem. Jamal, I want to get better grades. I want to do better in school. I want to be a better athlete. I want to lose weight. I want to be more in shape. How do you run 5 miles a day? How do you do it? I want to do this. I want to do that. And as soon as I give them the solution, they fall back. And a lot of times we fall back because of fear. When I'm amazed that even in the industry of network marketing, for instance, that how and what is business? When people say, I want to be a business owner, every time I talk to people, everybody wants to own a business. But here's the thing, people don't understand what business really is. And business is very, very simple. But see, guess what? We've been programmed to think that business is hard. So we say we want a business, we say we want to be self-employed or be free, but the reason why we don't do it is because we've been programmed to think that business is hard. But folks, let me tell you what business really is. Business is nothing but simply offering a service or a product to the marketplace in exchange for $1. That's all it is. It's simply sharing a product or a service to the marketplace in exchange for money. So you take any business person out there. You take the mom and pop store on the corner. All they're doing is they're providing a product to the community, to the neighborhood that you need, and all you do in exchange for getting that product that you need, you give them money. So that's all business is. So really, when you look at being successful in business, if you understand the principle that here's how you overcome your fear. See, the fear is, the fear comes from programming. The fear is if I ask my mom or my relative, or if I offer a product or service to somebody that I know, they're going to reject me. They're going to hate me. No, folks. It doesn't matter. Because if they don't need it, they don't need it. But you think Walmart, would have been successful? They worried about people who did not buy from them? I'm constantly going to a store, and I won't buy anything. But guess what? when I'm walking out the store, there's a whole long line of people who are buying that day. So just like in business, how people will fall back in fear because they're so concerned about taking that step. They're so afraid about rejection. They're so afraid of the unknown. Because you know why you're afraid of the unknown? Because, again, you've been programmed to think that if I can't see the light, then I shouldn't keep walking. If I can't see light at the end of the tunnel, if I can't see the end result, then I should not keep walking. And see, this is, folks, if you are a believer, if you are of any religious, entity, or if you're a person who are any kind of positive thinking or anything like that, you should know that, guess what? Life is all about taking risks. Life is all about having faith. That's where courage comes from. Courage is a sign of faith. And see, folks, this is what I had to do. And in order to deal with your fears, folks, you're going to have to face your fears. And I promise you this, that if you step out in courage and you just become courageous, it will get easier the minute you step out. You know, and I just think of an example with my oldest son. He's 9 years old, Jesse, and we were at the amusement park. And, you know, here he's saying, Dad, you know, see, again, your kids, see, this is how programmed we are. See, my kids want to ride roller coasters because they see their dad riding roller coasters. But see, I don't know, they can't stand roller coasters. I mean, I know people that 25, 50, they fear for roller coasters. Why? Because I guarantee you they were around people who were fearful of roller coasters. Now, I'm not saying everybody got a roller coaster. I'm just giving you the principle here in the story that validates my point. So my son wants to ride a roller coaster. Because he sees Dad constantly, he says, Dad, I want to ride a roller coaster. The whole while we're riding it, Dad, I want to ride a roller coaster. Dad, I want to ride a roller coaster. Dad, I want to ride. See, this is people in life. I want to be successful. I want to quit my job. You know, I want to have a better family. I want to be in a better home. I want to drive a better car. See, this is my son. I want to ride a roller coaster. I want to ride a roller coaster. So as soon as we get to the point of riding a roller coaster, my son says, oh no, I can't do it, Dad. Oh no. All of this, see, oh no, now he's seeing, now he's thinking about seeing what it's going to be, and now he's fearful to the point that he's like, I can't do it. He's pulling away. He's like, no, I want to ride that roller coaster. I said, okay. So finally, you know, I said, listen, Jesse, if you want to ride this roller coaster, and he's asking me all these questions, and everything he's asking me about why he want to ride the roller coaster, I said, why do you want to ride it? Everything he's telling me, folks, now I love roller coasters. I'm addicted to roller coasters. Everything he's telling me is absolutely not what's going to happen. I mean, he's saying outrageous things. And someone's just like that. He's saying, Dad, I don't want my stomach to come out of my stomach's going to burst, and oh my goodness, my brain's going to explode. I mean, my son, I'm actually laughing at the reasons why he don't want to do it, but he's actually being serious. And it's just like many of us. You know, when you say go out there and take that step out, go take that risk, go join that business. Oh no, I know that stuff don't work. No, I don't want to sign up and then I don't make any money. Or I don't want to risk in that stock and then that stock falls. See, what happens soon. We say we want what we want in life, but then we start falling back. We start retreating, and now we start making excuses why we can't succeed. But guess what? I told my son, I said, son, I said, guess what, Jeff? I said, the only way you want to ride roller coasters is you're going to do it, and it's not as bad as it seems. I said, you see, Daddy doing it, right? And you want to be like Daddy, you want to be like Daddy. Well, guess what? You're going to have to ride this roller coaster. And trust me, I tell you, it's not as bad as it seems. Your stomach won't burst. Your brain won't explode. None of things will happen. So long story short, finally he got on the roller coaster. I mean, we got on this big roller coaster. I mean, truly that, you know, most 9-year-olds probably wouldn't ride. And he got on the roller coaster, and as he's going up the hill, he starts panicking. He's like, Dad, you told me this is not going to be this way. My stomach's going to burst, and everything he said down on the ground, you know, now he's like, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to, oh my goodness, what are you doing? But now it's too late. He's on the roller coaster, so nothing he can do, right? So we get on the roller coaster. I mean, the roller coaster's on loops and twirls and side things and blah, blah. I mean, but I'm noticing my son is not even gripping my hand. I mean, he's like just, I'm not even hearing him. And we got the roller coaster stops at the end, and he's like, Dad, is that it? I said, yes. He said, oh my goodness, roller coasters are so fun. I mean, none of that stuff happened, Dad, that you said that I was saying. I mean, it was so fun. I mean, I want to do it again. My son was like on the roller coaster 3 more times. Because what he realized, guess what, folks, is if you want to be successful, see, I told him, Jesse, you simply got to face your fear and just get on it. Just get on. Don't think about it. Don't meditate. Don't keep thinking about it, because the more you think about it, the more you keep talking about that fear. Just go out there and do it. And so guess what? Now, I mean, then he went on all the roller coasters. See, folks, I'm just telling you, folks, that's what courage is. See, and a courageous person, you're just going to be that person that's going to face that fear and just step out and do it, no matter what the result you make is going to be. Because exactly what you are thinking that's going to happen is you've been programmed to think that way. You've been programmed to think about the failures that you may be potentially going to have. Okay? So what I want to talk about now is the 95% of people. See, I want to break down with you now, and that's part of this call, the rest of this call, is why you do what you do. Why you think the way you think. Okay? And see, the opposite of courage, and it was said by one of our, an awesome psychologist, he said the opposite of courage is really not cowardness. Because a lot of you would think that, well, I'm a coward, I don't want to, I'm a coward. People are like, you only go to that road because you're a coward. No, you're not a coward. He says the opposite of cowardice, the opposite of courage is not cowardness, but conformity. It's conformity. What is conformity? Conformity is everybody acting like everyone else. And no one really knowing why they are doing what they're doing. Everybody acting like everyone else. And no one really knowing why they're doing what they're doing. See, most of you, the reason why you're going to struggle in life, the reason why you won't get ahead is because you are only living a conformed life. You're not living a courageous life. And see, what happens is everybody in the world today, right now in the world today, most of you are doing exactly, you're following somebody else. You're not living your life. See, if you're not right now, if you're not happy where you are, that means you're living somebody else's life. Because you've been programmed to live somebody else's dream rather than live what you want to live. Okay? And so what happens is, the opposite of courage is, instead of you being courage, you're living a life of conformity where everyone's just following everybody else. And the thing about it is, the person in front of you that you're following don't really know why they're doing what they're doing. Even in the news business. People making lots of money will still come into work every day and say, I want to get out of this business. I don't know why I'm in this business. I hate it. I can't stand it. But because of the amount of money you're making, and now you feel like you're trapped, so now you work the next 30 years of your life miserable, and the reason why you would do it because you were conformed to following everybody else. See, folks, understand that in your conformity, you understand something, folks, that has come from your childhood. You understand that you have been programmed from your childhood, whether you believe it or not. Okay? See, here's what's happening, folks. Here's what we're doing in life. You know the game, follow the leader, follow the leader, follow the leader. See, we're not really living a life of following the leader. Many of you may think, well, I'm just following the leader. No. What we're doing is we're following the followers. We're following the followers. That's what's happening. So if you're taking notes, we're not following the leader anymore. We're following the followers. And so what we're doing is we're following the people in front of us, and they only follow people in front of them. So if you look at, so what happens, let's break down, I took a child psychology course in college, and I really love studying the childhood development because it really helped me understand why I do what I did. I think about the things I've learned and where I was, the environment I grew up in, and why I was doing the things I was doing. Why was I not able to have success early in my life and my teenager? Because guess what? It was exactly what I was learning from ages 1. And it says the average person, from the time you were born, folks, think about this, from the time you were born to the time you turn 25 years old, those first 25 years of life, you're doing nothing but following someone else. The average person, I had to use the word average, but the average person in the world today, for their first 25 years of life, are simply doing and following what other people are telling them to do. Let's break it down. Think about when you're first born. From the time the baby is born, for the time he goes to kindergarten. He's simply being programmed by his parents. He'll talk like his parents. He'll think like his parents. If his parents are Christians or Muslims or atheists or you name it, he's going to be exactly like when his parents are programming him. Okay? Because he can't think for himself. See? So you see how we're following the followers? And guess what? His parents had the philosophy they have because they followed their parents. Okay? And until somebody breaks that shift and breaks that line, okay, then what happens is we just keep following each other. So that's the first 5 years. Then the child goes to school at the age of 5 and goes to elementary school. Now look at most elementary school students. They're only following each other. That's why kids want to dress like their peers. They want to walk like, they want to talk like them. They want to do the same music, because why? We're living a life of conformity. That's all we know. Okay? We don't have the power to be our own selves. So guys, I hope you're already seeing that you're living a life of conformity. That's why you're having a hard time being successful in life. And then you get to middle school and high school, and it just starts getting worse because now you want to fit in. Because now guess what? Because if you do something different, if you dare be courageous and do something different, God forbid, you will be made fun of. People will laugh at you. I remember when I was in high school, and being a young Christian guy at the time, I remember starting a Bible club. you know, and I would go around and talk to people, and I remember people used to laugh at me. But I was different. See, and people would laugh at me because of how I dressed. You know, and my mom didn't have the money to buy me Rockaway and buy me a name brand, you know, stuff. So people, you know, and I wanted to wear those things, but I couldn't. And I had to accept the fact that I would not be able to be like the rest of my people in my class. See? But guess what? Most of us don't have that opportunity. So what we'll do is we'll do everything we can. Well, man, you know, it's like I made with kids today. You'll give a kid $100 to go out and buy some clothes. And you know what they'll do? They'll go out and buy. They'll take that $100 they have, and they'll go buy a $50 pair of jeans, name brand jeans, instead of buying 3 pairs of jeans at $50. You know why? Because they want to live a life of conformity. They want to follow the followers. They don't want to be different. They're simply doing it because, see, that's what folks, most people are doing, living a programmed life. You're living that matrix. So, see, what happens is, folks, so then what happens is you get into college. And you get into college again, and now and people go to college because they're programmed to go to college. And then they'll get into college and they'll say, well, you know, what should I be when I grow up? What should I do? What should I major in? And then the parents may say, well, you know what? I will go to bed. You should go to doctor school. Don't become a mechanic, or don't become a business owner. You know, that stuff's too much risky. You know, go into television. And I'm not saying those things are bad, but most people, what happens is, most people I have noticed, their careers they have is not where they want to be. They want change. They don't want to be where they are. Okay. I mean, I work in the TV business. I work with many anchors who people making $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 a year. Some making $1 million a year. And they're still coming to work with their heads down, wishing they could do something else because they just don't like their Monday life. They don't like working 12 hours a day. But they're stuck. They're stuck. And how'd they get there? They got there because they followed someone else. And they're not living the dreams, the life they really wanted to live. Because when you live the life you really want to live, then you're happy. And you have that courage to keep on going forward. See, again, we're constantly following people who don't know where they're going. That's following the followers, I said earlier. We're constantly following people who don't know where they're going, and that's what's happening. So the world is circulating people, and that's the 95 percentile. 95% of people you are following have no clue what they're doing. They're simply reacting to what is around them. So the 95% of people in America, in the world today, who are living a mundane, mediocrity life, never can go to the next level of life, see, most of them are simply reacting to what's around them. See, and your reaction is out of your programming, because you've been programmed to react that certain way. See, so what happens is when you think you're following someone of good stature, or you think you're following someone, you think you're following a leader, no, you're following a follower. They're just leading you right to the same thing they did. And you think that's the way to success because 95% of people are doing it, you think that's the way of success. But what happened is, those same people, they're not happy with their income. How many are not happy with your income? How many are not happy with the home you're living in? How many are happy with the car you're driving? You want more out of life. But what are you going to do to get to that next level, to get that car, to get that more income? You're going to have to be courageous, rather than be conformed. Okay? And see, people don't think anymore. They're not thinking. See, most of us in life, guys, most of us understand, folks, that you're going to have to become a person who thinks for yourself. And not be programmed to just react. See, most of us we just react. We're not proactive. See, proactive people. See, I can tell a person who's on their way to success by simply watching their daily routine, their daily life. See, a person who's just working a job, a person who's not out there doing things for themselves, they're not developing themselves. They simply react to situations. The only time they want to do something different is when they back up against the wall. Only when they back up against the wall. Only when they're backing up to zero, will they decide to maybe find another job. Only when they back against the wall. Only when they get fired from a job, will they decide to say, you know what, maybe the job doesn't work. And so what happens is they end up working out of desperation instead of working out of comfort level. Okay? So folks, see, one of the things, a conformed life, people who are conformed always are people who are reactive things. And ask them this question: are you proactive or are you reactive? And the way you will know is, are you right now working diligently and hard? Are you courageous? Do you have that mental and moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty? Okay? Is your life a life of courage, courageousness? Or are you living a life of conformity to the point where conformed people are programmed to only react to situations? And sometimes, folks, unfortunately, that when you, and I looked at my own life, whenever I sat back and reacted to things, it was always a bigger struggle to get out of that ditch. It's always a harder struggle to get out of that ditch. So why wait until the job lays you off to decide to make more extra income? Why wait until the job fires you? Why wait until now you get a medical situation where now you can't even go back to work, and now all of a sudden, wow, now look what happened. Why wait until, why wait until the relationship gets so horrible that now you can't get yourself out? Why surround yourself about people who are so negative when you could have gotten around the people who really want to show you how to be successful, but yet you'll follow family members, you'll follow people in your life who don't want anything in life. You'll follow coworkers, and you'll spend all your time with those coworkers. But they're the same people who are the 95% people, but rather, why not spend time with 5%ers? People who are about making things happen, who are about success, who are about making their life happen. Why not spend time with those people? See, let's talk about some programming things as we come to a close here, and then we'll have an action plan. What's some of the things that we're programmed to think? See, and when you ask, and see, guys, one thing about life, about courage, and I want to say this, is see, many people out there, they talk about how good life is for them. But folks, when they go home, they're upset, they're depressed, they're not really happy where they are. See, you gotta look yourself in the mirror tonight. And you got to ask yourself, so you can want people, I look at people like, I look at Facebook, and, people, oh, man, life is so awesome, and they put these quotes on and say things, but most of those people are really not happy where they are. And you got to go home, and you got to ask yourself, are you happy where you are? Are you really living a life you really want to live? Are you making the income you really want to make? I look at the network marketing industry, and they say it's so important that the people who are really courageous will make $1,000 a month easily in network marketing. Because people who are courageous, it's automatic for them to make $1,000 a month. Just by the numbers, just by the system. People in life. People invest in themselves. Are you saving? People save 10% of their income out of every dollar. They have a certain amount. By the time they're 65, they are almost living like a millionaire. If you were to save 10% of your income every time you make that, every dollar you make, you put 10 cents aside, regardless of the bills, no matter what's happening, guess what? You will almost live a life of a millionaire by the time you're 65 years old. See, again, but here's some of the programming we've heard. Money is hard to make. Have you said money is hard to make? I just want to talk about money, because that's what a lot of us are. A lot of us want a better job because we want, why? We want more money because we want to have a better job. You want a better job because you want more money. You want a better, you want a better home. But to get a better home, you need what? More money. You want to drive an extra car. Well, you want to drive an extra car, you need more money. You want to have a better family. Well, you have a better family because if your family lives out in the suburbs versus living in the inner city, guess what? Your kids want to have a different environment. So guess what? What does it take to live like that? Money. So let's talk about money. People say, how many of you have thought money is hard to make? Well, if you ever said money is hard to make, you know why you say that? You say that because you have been around people who said money is hard to make. See, I remember my early years of life, I used to say money is hard to make. Because I watched my parents, I watched people around me, I watched my peers, my colleagues, I watched other parents in the neighborhood, I watched people around me, I watched families, middle class. I'm talking middle class. I'm not even talking about, I'm talking middle class folks who said money is hard to come by. Money is hard to make. Well, guess what? I will develop a philosophy. I will be programmed to think that money is hard to make. So this will be the exact reason why you will never be able to make some extra money and make more income in your life and develop more income in your life, because you have been programmed to think that money is hard to make. And if you still think that, folks, I will tell you right now, you will never make more income. But I'm telling you right now, you're only saying that because you've been programmed to say that money is hard to make. Because if that was the exact state treatment, if that statement was exactly true, then there would not be people who during this recession are making more money. I look at myself, in our quote-unquote recession, I have been able to retire from corporate America. I look at a Seneca Johnson, a Ruben Lewin, people you're on this call today. I can think about countless of people who I know right now who are out there who have made more money during a quote-unquote recession than when it wasn't a quote-unquote recession. I say quote-unquote because I don't believe it's a recession, because to me, I don't see it. And if you're a recession, if you choose to buy it, a mentor told me, if you choose to buy the recession, then you bought the recession. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not signing up for that program. Okay? So you've been programmed to think that money is hard to make. So guess what, folks? Stop that programming. You're saying that because and if you're fighting with it, you will fight with it. It's hard. It's not going to be hard to get rid of that thought. But change your words. It's not hard to make money. Start telling yourself that. I just proved it to you. Go on down. Look up online. Look at Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett has made more money last year than his entire life during this recession. Here's another quote. People always say, I love this one. If money was easy to make, everyone will be making it. If money was easy to make, everyone will be doing it. You know, I look at network marketing, for instance. I look at free enterprise. I look at the free enterprise business, owning a business, any kind of business. And people say, I can't do that. Because if it was easy, Jamal, everybody would be doing it. Well, let's think about that. Is that really right? Is the fact that it's easy, everybody will be doing it? That doesn't make sense, really. Let me tell you why. Because, see, let's think about things in life that's really easy, but people don't do. It's easy to exercise every single day for a half hour a day. It is. It's easy. I mean, a half hour a day, you get a treadmill, run in front of your house, and do some kind of form of exercise. That's easy to do. It's easy to drink a glass of water a day. They say you should drink 8 glasses of water a day. That's easy to do. I mean, how hard is it? Folks, honestly, how hard is it really? Is it really hard to drink 8 glasses of water? Now, I'm not saying I've been perfect at that, but think about it. Is it really hard to drink 8 glasses of water a day? Okay? But guess what? It is easy to drink 8 glasses of water a day, but people still don't do it. You know? So think about things in life that it's easy to do. But the thing about it, taking a vitamin. Taking vitamins. How hard is it to pop a vitamin in your mouth and chew it, but people will forget it in the morning, go to work, and forget to eat their vitamins? Now, folks, is that really hard? It's easy to take vitamins. So the fact that, to say that if it was easy, everybody would be doing it is a false statement. And see, again, we say that statement because we've been programmed to say if it was easy, then everybody would be doing it. So, folks, look at life today. It's easy to do a lot of things, but people don't do it. You know, the thing is, here's the problem. It's not that if it was easy that everybody be doing it. Here's the thing about it. It's easier not to do it. It's easier not to make more money than it is to make less money. It's actually easier to be wealthy when I'm learning. It's easier to be wealthy. It's easier to, and I've seen this. It's easier to make a lot of money than to make a little money. Very easy. How easy is it, Jamal? It's so easy that you can come up with a product, stand on the street corner, okay, and simply ask everybody you come in contact with and offer that product to them. And the fact that you sell that product for $20 or $30 or $40, and people say, somebody will say, I want to buy it, you just made $20 in 1 minute's time. That's easy. So why is it easy? It's actually harder to make less money because guess what? The fact that you just work a job and that's all you do in life and you settle for that, that's hard. But it's easier to not to do it. It's easier not to make more money. It's easier to just say, you know what? I'm going to settle for my job. That's easier. So folks, to say it's easy, to say that something has to be easy in order for anyone to do it is a false statement, and again, that's a statement of programming where we've been programmed to think that way. So, folks, I want to tell you tonight that, listen to myself, listen to what I'm saying to you, is that the life you're living right now, I know you may think that you got it all together. I know you may think you're the sharpest person in the world. But see, every one of us are simply living the way we've been programmed. Because I have not seen a baby yet be born come out the mother's womb and start telling everybody how he's going to live. It just doesn't happen. It's impossible. It will never, ever happen. There's no way a newborn baby can dress himself. I mean, if you leave a baby in the middle of the desert and no one teaches him how to walk and how to eat, that baby will die. What am I saying? Is that everything you are living right now is because of what you have been programmed. And if you want to be successful in any area of your life, you're going to have to get away from people who does not have the answers to your life. You're going to have to cut those people off, and you're going to have to surround yourself by people who are on the other side of the fence of where you want to be. See, you have to stop following the followers, and you're going to have to follow the leaders. You want to follow people who are on the other side of the tracks. They are not crazy. They're simply courageous. I'm not crazy. I'm courageous. I'm not conceited, okay? I just simply desire more for my life than the average person. And if you want to be that type of person, if you want success, you're going to have to stop following the followers, and you're going to have to follow the leaders. Don't ask someone about money when you talk to someone who's not making the money you really want to make. If you're making $50,000 a year, why go to your uncle who's making $60,000 or to your parent who's making $70,000 and ask them how to make six figures? They cannot tell you because they only want to tell you based on what they've been programmed, and that's only how to make $70,000 a year. You cannot grow beyond the person that's in your life. So you're going to have to surround yourself with people who are courageous, people who are living on the other side of the tracks, and we are not crazy. People say, Jamial, you are a nut. I said, you're right, I am a nut, but I thank God I'm screwed to the right boat. It's okay to be a nut. I am crazy. That's fine. Because if you want to be successful, courageous people are crazy, in a sense. Because they're doing things. You know why they're crazy? Because 5% of people in the world make the most money. 95% of people in the world are simply followers. So, of course, the 95% is going to call the 5% is crazy because, listen, anytime you're doing something that normal people don't do, you're crazy. Well, there's a good kind of crazy and a bad kind of crazy. And if you really want to be successful in life, you're going to have to be courageous, and it's okay to be crazy. It's okay to say, you know what? I don't care if somebody tells me no. I'm still going to make that phone call and call them. See, folks, and I see it all the time. But see, when you're not courageous, you'll let fear grip you, and you'll say, I won't ask that person my product or service. Or I won't go out there and take the next step. I won't try to get a better home for my children. You know, I won't try to step outside the box. My family's going to make fun of me or this and that. That's okay. Allow them to call you crazy. But guess what? They will begin to say, what are you doing? And see, you want to follow the leaders, not simply follow the followers. So the action plan for this week, first thing you do is take an active 5% role, take an active role in your life rather than reacting. I want you to monitor your thoughts right. I want you to monitor your life right now. And if I ask you right now, if you were to have a crisis right now, what would you do? What would you do? Would you then, see, because you're going to have to react. You want to do one thing, either you want to be proactive or reactive. And I challenge you tonight to start living a proactive life. Do something this week that's going to cause you, that you can say, you know what, Jamial? I've been proactive in this. You know, this year, you know what, guys? I got my will done. You know, I mean, people always say you should have a will. And and just something as simple as that. This year, you know, one of my mentors, my pastor says, this is the year of order. This is the year to get your finances together. This is your year to do things that you haven't done to get your life in order. And this year, you know, I got my will done. I got a real will done for me and my children. That was called being proactive, as opposed to being reactive and waiting until life gets so bad, and then all of a sudden I want to try to get everything together. So what are you going to do this week? It could be small. Something as small as, you know, I don't know, and saving 5% of your income this paycheck. That's being proactive. Why is it being proactive? Because guess what? If you have a situation financially, guess what? You will be able to pay for it. Why? Because you've been proactive. You didn't spend your whole paycheck. So do something this week, guys. I don't care if you say 1% of your income this week. Do something that's proactive this week. Don't just conform to what everybody else does. Number two, another action step. Catch yourself before you give an excuse or reason why you can't take on a task or venture. Monitor your thoughts right now. The next time you're told to take on an action, next time you're told to take a risk and do something, catch yourself from making an excuse or a reason why you can't step out, why you can't make that decision to do that next thing. Catch yourself. It may be hard, because what's happening is, what you want to naturally do, you want to react the way you've been programmed to react to when you hear information. Catch yourself this time. Catch yourself from saying, oh, I'm fearful of doing that. I'm scared to go that route. I'm scared to do that. No, catch yourself. And face the fear and just do it. Face the fear and just do it. I challenge you. Number three, the last one, again, stop taking advice from people who are not where you want to be. And that's so, so crucial. Stop taking advice from people who are where you don't want to be. Stop taking advice from people who are where you don't want to be. And folks, I'm going to be honest with you. It could be a parent. It could be a loved one. It could be a child. It could be a family member. It could be a coworker. It could be a boss. It could be a pastor. I'm telling you, folks, it could be anyone in your life right now. If they are not where you want to be, stop taking advice from them. And that's something the 5%ers do. 5%ers don't take advice from anybody who's not where they want to be. That changed my life so miraculously, I can tell you. When I stopped taking advice from people who are not, and I love everyone. It doesn't mean you don't love them, but where you're trying to go, you can't take advice from a broke person on how to be successful. I look at, I look at business, and people go ask their broke uncle, should I make an investment in this business? How can your uncle who's broke advise you on a business decision? Doesn't make sense. How can you go to a person? It's like if people try to give you parenting lessons on how to be a parent. Wait, do you have any kids? No. But how can you give me lessons on how to be a better parent? Hello, somebody. Okay? So how can you tell me how to get on my career path? How can you tell me how to make $70,000 a year when you're only making $40,000? How can you tell me to be a better leader when you're still a follower? See, folks, you can't be successful if you keep on taking advice from people. So this week, I want you to challenge yourself to stop taking advice. When you need an answer, to a problem, don't call someone who don't have your problem, who don't have your answer, who only has the problem, who only want to tell you what they think it is. Because see, philosophies can kill you or it can promote you. And they're going to give you a philosophy based on a follower's philosophy. Not a person who accomplished the thing, not a person who's leading in that area of life. They only give you advice based on a follower. Folks, I hope that you want to be a person who live a courageous life, not just a life of conformity. Go out there and do something different. Go out there and accomplish something different that you ever wanted to accomplish in your life. With that being said, guys, you guys have an awesome day. I thank you for being on this call this week. I look forward to seeing you next week, the same time, at 7:55 p.m. Please come a little 5 minutes early. These calls are recorded. It will be up on the website. If you want to call me, my phone number is 215-254-5377. Again, that's 215-254-5377. If you want to listen to this call again, all these calls are put online. They were recorded. It'll be online by tomorrow around noon. You can simply go to visionsalliance.net. Again, that's visionsalliance.net. Again, folks, I would encourage you guys, be a blessing to someone. Be a blessing to someone and invite them to this call next week. Because every week we're going to share kind of principles. And see, folks, if you want to get those followers to become leaders in your life, and you want to get those naysayers to change their ways, guys, simply get them on a call like this. Because when they hear the same information, people want to change their life as well. And be a blessing to somebody else and say, listen, here's a call next week that I guarantee you, if it's blessed you, why not bless somebody else with the same call? Okay? Bless somebody else this week. Okay, you can't give money to a homeless person. But yes, you can put a homeless person on a call like this, and I guarantee you something will be said that's going to bless their life. And maybe you didn't learn anything. Maybe you'll learn 1 point. They may learn 5 points. And they'll thank you for it for the rest of your life. With that being said, guys, you have an awesome day. God bless you. We'll see you next week on the same time, same station. Have a great night, everybody. God bless. Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Awesome. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, man.
Good night. Good night, everyone.
Jamal, you there?
Hello?
This presentation is brought to you by Visions Audio Visual.